Hello. Hi, it's me. My microphone feels really far away. It's way over here. I had to move something. I moved the desk forward a little bit with the mic. I don't know if I like this. Do I like this? The answer is no. The answer is I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. What do I move this up a little bit? Will I like that more? I think it's still a no. It's a little better. Okay, don't touch it. Don't touch the microphone. Hi, I'm Scott. It's me, Scott. This is a very wobbly situation. I had to move things around yesterday. This is just on top of a box, which is not really ideal. But, you know, we're working with what we can during isolation times. How are you? I hope everyone is safe and well and doing all the right stuff that you're supposed to be doing. It's time to get to some important work. Man, that's a lot of warp. I hope I don't make anyone motion sick. I hope I don't make me motion sick. What have we been doing? We've been doing some weird accelerometer stuff. So the first really important thing to do is to pick some wallpaper. And I'm not really feeling this. These are nice villages, but yet another nice village, but I'm not looking for villages. We have some sheep and some ruins. Oh, that's very nice. There's got to be a way to just like tell. I know we do this every day, and every day I say, got to be some way to tell Unsplash to filter a little better. But where are we? Is Backblaze? Backblaze is doing stuff right now. Why would it wait? Why would it wait until I start streaming? It's like it can hear me. It's like it watches the network traffic and is like, oh, suddenly some network traffic. I better interrupt this immediately. This monochromatic urban landscape. Not bad. More airplane photos. Ooh, yeah, okay, we got a good one, finally. So we've been doing a thing where we've been trying to take people's accelerometer data from the comfort of their own homes, and as they do stuff with those accelerometers, from their phones, they swing their phones around, then we're controlling cubes with that currently, and a new cube just shows up. And towards the end of yesterday, after lots of fuss, very silly fuss about due to some inconsistencies between browsers, we got the orientation data, which we already had reliably, and then we got accelerometer data, which seemed good. Okay, excuse me, please. I'm gonna smash this computer over here. I'm blaming this computer. I don't even know, but I feel like it's probably this computer. Doesn't say it's backing up now, but I don't trust it. Why else would my bitrate be so insane? It's going all over the place. It's like a traffic light over there. I just went up to 800, down to 300. Okay, pausing. I mean, I push the pause button, and then for some reason it takes 11 hours to actually pause. Hi, by the way. How are you? I like this rope comment. Maybe I should, whatever the images that Bing uses, I feel like they maybe are doing better than I am with Unsplash. Yeah, that's it. Currently backing up new files. Don't do that. Let me just push the pause button 87 more times. I guess I could just shut this computer down. What are you going to do then, Backblaze? You can't seem to find it in your heart to pause when I tell you to pause. What if I just shut you down? Computer just went insane. Okay, computer shut down. That's what you get. You get when you can't follow instructions, Backblaze. Get the whole computer shut down for the whole class, the whole rest of the class. The bitrate is still bad. I did move this computer, but I'm wired Wi-Fi is not turned on. This is a bad internet day. It's a bad internet day. Maybe sometimes we just have those. We're at like 11% dropped frames though. This is really bad. Why are we this bad? Seems not good. 12% of frames dropped. Sorry about this. You know, the internet. I don't have the most reliable connection here. Okay, we're stabilizing a little. I'm just gonna move forward, and we'll see how it goes. Seems like we stabilized a bit. Okay, where were we? We made a mobile dancer.glitch.me. This thing. Actually, let's just go to glitch.me. No, glitch.com, and do this thing, and do this thing. No, wrong. Do this thing. Like this and this. Okay, so just a quick recap. We're using Glitch to both host our static web data and have a little bit of a backend server. And the little bitty backend server just spits data elsewhere. And it does not do it in a way that is sane right now, but that's okay. We're ignoring that fact for the moment. On the front end side, we've got a little mobile web page that takes accelerometer data. Most of this code is just getting permission to use the accelerometer because that's how Apple wants it. And it's annoying. And I feel like they could have done it in a better way. But it's what we had to work with. So there's that. And there's also this front end page. And all it does is draw a cube for every person that connects. So there's a few things we want to do today. Let's make like a quick to-do list. To-do. So we're gonna have like 2 minor goals and maybe we'll do more. We do have a call in 2 hours, but. So one thing we want to do is like call dead clients. So if I don't hear from you in a second, if I don't get any data from you for 5 seconds, you're out. Okay? That was another really obvious one. What was it? I don't know if we'll do this today. Add rooms. We don't need to send all this data back to mobile. We only need to send data to the front end. So the mobiles need to broadcast, but they don't need to listen. And there's a couple of ways we can do that. Namespaces, maybe is what they're called. In Socket.io. Maybe. But this is the big one. And the reason we have to constrain it is because accelerometers aren't good for spatial positioning. You can make some assumptions about it, but I don't want to do that. I mean, maybe I will eventually. I don't know. I just don't know if any of this is going to get used for something. I think it's kind of fun. I think there's definitely, I feel pretty confident that I'll use this for something someday. If not for the residency, then for like a concert where everybody swings their phones around or something. Like, I'll use the phone orientation thing. So let me go to a page called Mobile Dancer. Oh, but I think I said no in Safari, but I reset it. Okay. So HTTPS. Oh yeah, that's a thing we should do at some point. Require. We might have to do that. Normally that's something I would do like Cloudflare or at the name provider level, not necessarily at the DNS level, but at that level, back there where DNS is. We want to do https:// mobile dancer glitch.me. We want the mobile page. And I'm going to get a button that says get permission, and I'm going to click that button, and I'm going to allow permission, and then I've got a cube here. And you'll see it's not just rotating from orientation. I'm giving it some, there's some acceleration here. It's just, it's kind of goes insane though, you know? Like, I don't even know what to do to get it back because we haven't really determined the best way to map these coordinates, because the coordinates that we're using in here in our virtual 3D space in P5JS are different than the coordinates that we're getting from the accelerometer, which is okay. Like, there's ways around that. Okay, so if I do this, I get a cube. If I do this and do it again, I'll get another cube. And that first cube is just kind of dead, right? So, and as if I shake this, I can kind of swim away. I don't know what makes it like completely lose its mind over time, like why it wants to go down. Okay, let's do the culling. I don't know why I refreshed that, but let's do the culling. We don't need any environmental variables yet. I don't need any assets yet either, but I guess that just stays there until we need them. So basically, we just want to say, we want to have like some kind of culling loop. We want some kind of loop that's going to run periodically and cull. We already have a draw loop, so there's not a lot of point to running a separate loop. So either we're going to cull before or after we draw. I'm going to say we want to draw cull after. So the way we will do that is, we really could do it in this loop. So one, actually, without even thinking about culling, like not even cleaning up, we can just not draw it. So if we get in here and we get our sensor data, if date.now minus sensor data dot timestamp is greater than 5, is less than 5, meaning we've heard from it in the last 5 seconds. I think that's the right. It's called timestamp, right? Then it will go away. So let's see if that's actually true. Oh, make a new friend. So I have a friend here, and I'm dancing around, and then let's make a new friend. Whoa, that got called really fast. That was less than 5 seconds, so I did something wrong. Let's get permission. We're drawing something here. I'm going to lock my phone, and it went away. So that seemed to work that time, but the other time it seemed like it went way too fast. Is my timestamp not actually correct? Oh. That's the time it was sent, but like there could be pretty substantial drift between the clocks on these two computers. So I should probably, I don't know that I need a send and receive timestamp. So I could just overwrite the timestamp here whenever the data is updated. Right? Like, whether it's new or it's updated. There may be some reason that we actually care about the send and receive times. I guess we could use that to figure out some kind of latency. But how would you know if it was latency or if it was just really actually sent several times ago without some kind of back and forth nonsense? Okay. So we're gonna have, I'm doing good, I'm updating, everything's fine. And it cut out. So something's wrong here. Either way, did I repair my gift for Lord Bizzacco? Is it? How did I forget? Is it a special day? Draclin, have you been waiting all year for this? You've been waiting your whole life for this? Oh yeah, April 29th of last year. That's when the tomb was created. Wow, it was a year ago. Whew. What a momentous day. We haven't heard from we haven't heard of or from Bizzacco for a long time. For a long time. It's a sad story, really. What did I do wrong here? At mealtime and during yoga? Do you do yoga? Oh man, I did a thing yesterday. Whew. We'll get distracted for a minute because this thing is pretty amazing, but it's also insane, and I also am in grave danger while I do it. So, Within, who I believe was founded by Aaron Koblin, formerly of the Google Data Arts team, and Chris Melk of Chris Melk fame, music video director. What if he's still with them, actually? I don't know. I'm almost certain Aaron Koblin is still there. Got no names on here. Our story. There's Aaron Koblin. I don't know about anybody else. Anyway, Within, they went through a couple iterations of what they were. They were called something else before Within. They were called like Verve. I can't remember. So anyway, they launched Supernatural, and it's kind of a Beat Saber ripoff, but there's some different elements to it. So in addition to being a Beat Saber ripoff, it's made in these incredibly gorgeously produced environments that seem to be like really expertly created combinations of skyboxes and photogrammetry of beautiful 360 photos. So there's actually some depth and parallax and some shader effects. So you're out in these like beautiful remote places, and there's this portal, and this portal starts launching these beats at you, very much like Beat Saber. This webpage is really not performing well. Video and web pages. We still can't do it in 2020, I guess. And so in addition to the Beat Sabery part, which is very Beat Sabery, you have like coaches that are telling you what to do and how to move and like guiding you through workouts, like new workouts every day. It is a kind of a crazy 360 experience. And there's also these triangles that come at you that you have to dodge. So I did this yesterday, and I will say, for like a non-resistance kind of workout, it was a pretty intense workout for sure. And I felt like I was constantly in danger because I'm in a pretty small space here. And I did what I could to like push things against the wall and make a little bit of room. But man, every moment I was really, felt like a distinct possibility that I was going to smash my knuckles on something. So I don't think it's perfect. It's very expensive. It's $20 a month. So I'm in the 30-day trial now, but they gave me a free foam Oculus Quest sweat pad for trying it out, which is very exciting. So I think it costs too much because Beat Saber's cheaper and you just buy it once, right? So I don't know. But it's like this interesting premium experience. It pairs with your phone. It tracks your progress. So it's like a certain kind of thing. I don't know quite what to compare it to because it's a pretty specific sort of thing. Like it's much more, Beat Saber's more of a game that has kind of become a fitness thing to some extent. Maybe they've leaned into it more, but this is definitely more fitness focused. So it's a pretty intense fitness game, but it requires a headset that I guess are selling well. They seem to be they're like sold out quite frequently, and it's a good headset. And a $20 a month membership, I don't know. I'm very curious about how this is going to work out. But it is pretty freaking fun. I would feel much better about it if I was in a space where I didn't feel like I was going to die every second. Or at least smack my hands and break all my knuckles. But if you have an Oculus Quest, I do recommend it. Oculus Quest has struggled to, I mean, all VR really has, like, in my opinion, sort of struggled to show its value, but the Oculus Quest in particular, because the library's smaller and you can't do all the weird PC stuff, has struggled. But now you got this thing, and then with virtual desktop, that makes it easier to do stream your desktop contents, even desktop VR, to your headset. It's starting to show its value. The annoying thing is Oculus wants you to pay $80 for cable to do linked VR if you want to do desktop experiences, when you could just pay $20 for virtual desktop, but you have to sideload it because Oculus restricts things. As a consumer, you see no reason to get a VR headset. Yeah, related VR fitness. I have had experiences in VR that are unparalleled, that I think they are worthwhile. I think there are not many. I will say there's not been a ton, fewer than I would have liked after being deeply invested in it for 5 years. Resident Evil 7 was pretty amazing, but PSVR kind of sucks. Subnautica in VR continues to be one of my favorite things that I've ever done in VR. Thumper in VR is like pretty mind-blowing. Res in VR, pretty mind-blowing. Tetris Effect in VR is very good, but not like essential to the experience. Polybius is insane and good. I don't know, Jacqueline, you in particular, if you were just a regular consumer, I would say that you probably don't want this. But since you're a person that is interested in altered states, there are some VR experiences. I've had some VR experiences that are the closest non-chemical situations that I've been in that were like altered states. So I think you would be interested in it just from that standpoint. Now, if it was just the Quest and the Quest was totally standalone, I'd say probably no, probably not. But with virtual desktop or Oculus Link, where you can just plug this headset, you can use headset totally standalone or plug it into your PC, or not plug it into your PC, but use your PC's, harness the power of your PC. I think you would actually be into it. Yeah, that's understandable. There's not a lot of good shared VR experiences. That's something David and I have worked on quite a bit, but like shared in terms of someone being in the same space. It's getting, I've had fun with partners though, playing VR stuff, because in most cases you're mirrored to the screen so you can see what they're seeing. So it's like watching them play a game, which is still pretty fun. There are multiplayer VR games. I haven't gotten into it because I'm not a multiplayer VR game person. I haven't played Half-Life Alyx yet, which I'm very excited about. I think the Quest has like almost justified itself as essential hardware. The question is, so I think in this year, enough cool things will happen with the Quest that it will be like kind of like, oh yeah, this is hardware people should have. The question is that moment of inflection going to happen before or after Oculus Quest 2.0? Quest is only a year old though. So I bet it's got a few more years on it. But yeah, it's hard because there's not the one killer app. But I think the sum of the pieces are pretty cool. Like I've even thought about getting one for my dad so he can do VR racing stuff. The fidelity of the visuals, Gear VR was pretty terrible. Oculus Go was pretty bad. I think the Quest is great. When you just are developing for it and running on it, you're talking like Xbox 360 or PS3 quality, which is not bad and is pretty good for 360 real time. And it can look quite nice. So much of it comes down to art design. So you do have to, like, there's a lot of technical challenges and art design challenges to make something run on the Quest, but you can still have beautiful things on the Quest. But when you are tethered or connected with virtual desktop, it's whatever your PC is. And then it's just a question of the display. So there's still some screen door effect, but I don't think it's that bad. I get used to it very quickly. I don't even register it. I think it's great. The field of view is good. Like the Quest is good. It's very good. I feel like the Quest is the best balance of all. Like it's the best combination of all of the things, factoring in everything. I have not used a Vive Index, but even that requires, that's tethered. You got to have a powerful PC. Like I kind of feel like the Quest gives you everything. Longest VR session, I played some real long sessions in Resident Evil 7 and in Subnautica, like hours and hours. I have not done that with the Quest, and I will say my biggest complaint of the Quest, since it's a whole computer on your face, is pretty front heavy. So it's very common for people to do comfort mods, which are not very complicated mods. They're often just about adding a counterweight to the back. The smartest counterweight I've seen is to just use a battery pack, because then you get longer power. So I haven't done this yet, but like my Oculus Rift, which I don't have with me, I could wear for hours and hours and hours and hours. PSVR did not find as comfortable or as good. It's just not as good. But Quest, Rift, feels great. You can wear it forever. I've used Vives a fair amount, but never for super long sessions. But man, the Quest is really front heavy. So there's been a lot of people that have done fancy things to their Quest, but the counterweight seems like is the real jam, because you also get longer battery life. So you can also buy lots of padding and stuff like that. I don't find it uncomfortable padding wise. I just find it so front heavy that it's like sliding down my face and mushing on my cheeks, which I don't enjoy very much. And we'll see how this new VR cover I have coming, but this thing, yeah, I wouldn't pay this much for these clips. They're just 3D printed, right? Yeah, these are just 2 3D printed clips for $17. I don't think so. It's not head and neck. I don't have fatigue there. It's just like face discomfort. It's like lots of adjusting. So I've never had like body eye fatigue. I don't notice it when I take my headset off. It's often there's a moment of like return to reality, of like focal distance changing instantly and light changing instantly. But I'm definitely not immune to eye strain, but I have not found it to be a big problem. Okay, so let's maybe very slightly get back on topic, right? Just a touch. Okay, that was me. And that's cool, actually, because I didn't even reconnect. I just turned my phone back on and I was there. Except now I'm gone again. So my timestamp is still broken. Right, that's what we were working on. So the timestamp I'm sending is client side. And that timestamp, whenever I send, is date now. And that looks like it's going out correctly. And now whenever I'm getting data in, I'm adjusting the timestamp on it and setting it to date now. And then I'm cramming it back into sensor data. And then in both cases, oh, I'm not. In this case, I need to do this. I forgot. Yeah, that's my own fault for not being consistent. You are adjusting your eye focus different. When you're looking something that's far away in VR, your eyes are acting like it's far away. It's not like you're looking at something that is. It's not like you're constantly looking at something that's 2 inches in front of your face. Your eyes are like adjusting, and so because of that, maybe I feel less fatigue. Pupillary sensors. Maybe the Index and maybe the Vive Pro. I've never used one and I've never done work that uses them. I think that sounds cool because then you could do dynamic depth of field stuff because you would know where the pupils are. But I haven't used a headset that senses your pupils, and I haven't written anything that relies on that. Although I do think that's like the future. Like that will definitely be part of headsets. Okay. Let's just make sure this lasts 5 seconds. Seems like it has. And I turn off my phone. And in 5 seconds, it went off the screen before I could actually see. So, okay, let's just start a few. Okay, yeah, they fade away. And we could certainly do something nicer. The box position right now, it just starts in the middle of like 0, 0, 0, and then we. Right now, I'm just directly applying the accelerometer force to it, which is why it's crazy. That's why it's jiggling, and then, like, it just gets out of control, because I don't know actually what's going on. And there's no real solution for that unless we really try to do dead reckoning, which I don't want to do. So we talked about a few ways to trick that, like handle that tomorrow. And one of those ideas was... Yeah. Oh, hello, Box. Goodbye, Box. We had a couple ideas for that. Okay, we called our dead silent. Maybe we'll do the namespace thing. Require HTTPS. I'm kind of putting this one off just because I don't exactly know how I want to do it too. So one idea was you pick it when you are spawned. Exactly right. So when you are spawned, you would be assigned a point, and then you would be like tetherballing. Two options. Either you're assigned a specific point and you're then tetherballing, you're like always kind of pulling back to that point, but you can never go further away. That's one idea, and that's the easier idea. The more complicated idea is that you exist on the surface of a unit sphere. So you're still sort of tethered, but acceleration, instead of moving you away from the sphere, you're moving on that unit sphere. And I think that would be more complicated, and I also don't think it would be good. Oh yeah, like you could hold your finger on a button on the phone to say you want to apply it. Yeah, maybe. I don't exactly know what we're working towards here, but the tether ball, like where there's a specific position, and either your gravity is taking you back to that point, or you're actually constrained to that point. So, excuse me, I think the first thing I'll do is just assign an origin to you. only when there's new data. And that's actually, we already have the code for that. And then everything you do will be relative to that and possibly, probably, maybe constrained to it. Like you just cannot go further than X number of pixels away from your origin. So we will do this, and then sensor X, this will always be origin plus. In fact, let's just do, let's not do it. We'll just break it all out because then it'll be a little easier. Because if we're going to have to do constrain logic and like find a vector towards something and then... I don't know why I work here. Why don't I just do it in Visual Studio Code since that plugin works? Then I could use my fancy shortcuts. Okay, so now we will get an origin. It's still going to be nonsense, but there will be a new... Why did that still seem like my origin was 0? What did I do wrong? Oh, because it's censored out of origin. Man, stupid JavaScript. Is that right? Okay. Did I break something? Probably, possibly, definitely. Okay. That's why. Okay, well, doesn't help if my origin is way up there, does it? Okay, we probably only want to do a percentage of the origin. Okay, so I can get all these. They're going to appear in a new place. They're not actually constrained now. So yes, I have two options. Either there's just a force that is always nudging back to that place, and I can shake and go crazy and move away from it, but I'll always drift back to that point. Or there's just a constraint that says once you go beyond that, you're stuck. There's a maximum radius you can move away. And I think the actual answer may be to do both. So this is going to be our positions, but then we want to constrain them. So like, and then do I want to just reset? I'm also realizing that I did this, where it's not like, I'm not doing like a delta here. I'm doing a totally cumulative. That doesn't seem very good. I mean, because then of course it's gonna build. I would want to apply this and then maybe have it like ramp down over time. That was a very silly way to do that, but it was a fast way to do that. Okay, do we want to constrain at boundaries first, or do we want to do gravity to the center at first? I wonder if P5, I think P5 by JS like might give us a distance function for free. But then if we wanted to constrain, I mean, that lets us know the distance, but it just passed 2 points. Excuse me. Dist. Yeah, but I still will have to like get a normal vector and multiply and on, right? Like a vector that points between those two. That's all fine. I'll just have to like subtract and normalize, do all that fun stuff. In which case, it would probably be good to make these into vectors, vec3s. Maybe not. Maybe you don't actually get that much out of a vector in... Like if I'm going to normalize, like if you just have to pass individual parameters anyway, can I normalize a vector? It just says number. Yeah, so we may actually want to make those P5 vectors, that's fine. Yeah, but to normalize a vector, you have to have a vector in P5. I mean, I could calculate it, but if I just want to use their dist and their normalize, all these positional kinds of things, these friends would be vec3s. Right? Is that true? No, this is a Python port. Can you normalize in P5.js? Surely you can, right? It's like weirdly not, it seems not to be documented. Let's go look in vector.js. Yeah, normalize is in there. We just need a vector. Kind of weird that that's not. Oh, is it in here? It's not in create vector. Here it is. Here's all the documentation. Here's all the stuff we want. Okay. We have to use create vector instead of new vec3, which is a little weird. Or like new vector. P5 is pretty fun. Hello P5 flocking. Did you know I made that? Or like Dan Schiffman maybe wrote that part. So this is the one for Hello P5. Dan actually wrote this, I think. I mean, Dan wrote this for sure. I maybe stole some version of it for P5. But this is for Hello P5, the thing I made with Dan Schiffman. Because I made it work with weather. Wait, this just uses dist and normalize, not vector3 dist and normalize? Why? What is with this search function? No, it's vector3 dist. Oh, I see. But you can. Well, but these are still two vec3s. This is just the static version. Right? That's what I want to do, but these are whatever the right language is, P5 vector. I'm sorry, I lied. I did not write this one. I just saw that it was for hello P5. But the one I did, I totally copied Dan anyway. So whatever, all credit goes to Dan anyway, for sure. Yeah, from Nature of Code, which is all Dan. It's all Dan. It's all Dan Schiffman. It's not all Dan. Much of P5 is Lauren. Okay, yeah, this is what we want. We want some vectors, right? This is all we needed to do. I just want to do this. So like when we... Updating, we don't care, because that's just data straight up from the sensors, right? However, we'll make a position. Yeah, I like P5. It has its limits, though, I would say. I mean, as far as like super robust, I think it's very good, and it's a good way to sketch and get ideas down. And it's not, it uses Canvas in many cases, but it often is using a WebGL accelerated Canvas. So I think it's a great way to get ideas down. I don't think I've ever built anything that was like a final production thing in P5. I usually would have moved to whatever. 3JS, most likely. Maybe Pixie now too. So we want to, this will just be, so can I just have create vector here with that P5? I guess. So then we're not going to have this anymore. And then origin is going to be a So now we have an origin, we have a position. We can mess with that position over time. Maybe position's a bad word for that, but like position relative to origin is what we're going to think of it as. And then down here, every single thing's going to be broken. All broken, it's all broken. In fact, well, yeah, okay, yeah, the position is what we want to mess with. So I don't think we want to do this. Let's try it like this. This may actually be all wrong. Okay, thank you for stopping by, Jacqueline. Appreciate it. Enjoy your workday. I'm just gonna add, like at any moment, oh God, is that how I wanna do this? I don't think I wanna do it like this. No, let's try this for now. Like we'd want probably to have our own acceleration handling, but and then this is going to just be like basically the origin plus the position. Let's do whatever. I don't know. I'm like thinking as I type here, and I'm not entirely sure that I like any of these ideas, but let's just do them. because once it's down in front of us, it's easier to work on things. Like, there are certain kinds of problems that are easier to work on in your head, and there's certain kind of problems that are easier to work on outside of your head. In fact, many, many problems I find easier to work on outside of my head. And that means drawing things on paper, or getting code into an editor, or getting writing into a word processor, whatever that is. Like, once you've started to manifest it into reality, you can start to mold it. Can I just translate to a Vec3? I don't actually know. Okay, this is wrong. It's not XYZ anymore, it's origin. We can do multi-line editing here, though. That's nice. Okay. Something seems... That's not supposed to be origin. Oh yeah, so that was my origin, but now I'm out of control. Okay, so what we can do now, though, is we can say, like, okay, I've got a current position, but I actually want to constrain... I want to do the constraint here, like at the real level. I don't want to do... I have, like, this, you know, this other derived variable. But I want to do the constraining here. Which is a slightly weird one. But that means, let's just try it. It's going to be probably too much code, and then maybe we can go and factor it to something a little simpler. But we basically want to say the following, that if p5 dot vector dot distance, and the distance between the origin and the position. Do I have to do... I always forget this. Dracline, I need your help, but you're gone. If this is like a reference thing versus a value thing, is greater than, let's say 100. I don't really know what the units are going to be. So that means we've gone too far, right? Where our position, we've strayed more than 100 units, which I think in this case are pixels, away from where we want to be. We want to constrain it to, like, if I have a point here and I'm moving around and I hit a barrier right here, right? I'm now over here. I want to constrain myself to this far. I want to be 100 units away. So I need to vector3, no, p5 dot vector, I don't remember what language we're in, normalize the vector that is represented, that is like origin pointing to position. And the way we get that is the position minus the origin. So this is a unit vector, a normal vector that points from my origin to where I'm going. And then now I want to say, let's just make my position 100 units away along that vector. So, like, you know what I really need to start doing? That I would like to make part of my life and part of these streams is like some real simple, easy whiteboarding thing. And I would actually really like to use my iPad to do it. So either I could do it with some software. I could invite myself on like this online whiteboarding software I found. Maybe I should just start doing that. Maybe I should do it right now. What if I did it right now? What are you going to do about it? You're not going to stop me. Aggie.io is what I was looking at. If I wanted to start drawing, and then I wanted to invite me. The problem is like anybody who wanted could start drawing insane things on the screen if they had this URL. But let's just try. I'm gonna try it. Excuse me for one moment. I'm gonna get a drink of water too. I'll be right back. Hi, it's me. It's me, Scott. Let's just try this. Not that my whiteboarding is going to be amazing, but I just feel like this would be a thing that could be helpful in our lives. Can I get rid of this whole thing? I would like to be even more rid of it. Like I kind of just want to make this a view. Okay, but let's ignore that for a moment. And then let's take this costly machine here that I don't use nearly as much as I had intended to. Okay, so I can draw on here and it does pressure and stuff. Okay, that seems okay. I don't know if this is a tool I want to use, but it's available. I'm trying in front of my face, so. I got that going for me. So let's say, okay, this is our origin, right? And then we've got like, you know, we're pulling our box all over the place. And we're doing that just by applying acceleration. So it's very hard to control. The box could just flow off into space where we want. So the problem is like, we don't want the box to ever go away over here. Oops. I don't know how to undo things. Is there a way to undo things? It's not this arrow that looks like it could be an undo. No undo. Understandable, I guess. Guess I can just erase things like it was real light would. This is because my hand hit. Okay, anyway. Maybe, maybe we'll come up with a real way to do this someday. We don't want that pencil. We want this brush. It would be nicer to use something real with this. Like use Procreate and then like... If I was like on a Mac, I could use Sidecar. Well, then it would just be a screen now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I like this idea. Anyway, say our box is flying along and our box ends up way over here. We don't want that to ever happen. We want there to be like a force field around this origin, right? Like we don't ever want to make our force for more colors. This force field. We never want our box to go further than the force field. So whatever happens, like, if we got a box and our box is going out here, it's never going to go further than the edge of that force field. So the way that you do that is to say, well, this is right before you draw the box. You say, okay, I'm going to draw the box. And it's going to be way over here. Get ready to draw it. Before you draw it, you do this math we're doing right now. We calculate this distance. It's the distance between here and here, this distance. And we say, hey, is this greater than 100? 100 being this kind of invisible force field. And we say, if that's greater than 100, we've got a problem. And then we need to correct that problem. So we're off in space somewhere. So what we want to do is I'm going to keep changing colors. I'm also going to just clear this and we'll start again. What we want to do is we've got our origin, we've got our force field, and now we've got this place over here where we think we want to draw a box. Man, this is really bad in terms of palm detection. It doesn't really do that very well. Maybe it doesn't do that at all. Force field. This is where we think we want to draw, which is obviously outside of our force field. So what we need to figure out is an arrow that points this way, a vector that's going to point this way. And the way we get that is this minus this. So it's this position, whatever its XYZ position is, minus this. And then that gives us sort of an idea of, even if our origin happens to be off in space somewhere, like if the actual XYZ 0 is way down here, doesn't matter. We're canceling that out by subtracting the origin from the place we want to draw in space, right? So once we have that, we have a vector. We know about a line that goes from here to here. And that's very interesting. But it's not very useful because it's going beyond our force field. So we're going to do something called normalizing, which says take that arrow in space, wherever it's pointing, and reduce it so it's 1 unit long. So that if it was like this pencil is 1 unit and it's on this origin, it's never going to stick further than that. That's what normalize means. Like we're setting it so it like fits inside of a unit circle, right? It just won't go any further than that. So once we do that, say the pen is this long, right? So now we have a unit vector. I think I'm using the right term there. I'm sorry if I'm not. That represents 1 unit. But of course, our force field, if you recall, is 100 units. So now we need to multiply this guy by 100. And then that will give us the line that's going to fit from our origin to our force field. And that's where we're going to put the thing we're drawing. Okay, that was my first experiment of whiteboarding with no preparation at all. I think it went great. This is a ridiculous drawing. Also, the palm detection is a real problem because when I put my hand on this, sometimes it seems like it gets it, but like that was a knuckle. Those are knuckles. So that's a little annoying. But I could see wanting to use this. The undo is annoying, though. I actually don't really like that, but I can certainly understand why they wouldn't include undo. What I may do, though, we may just do some drawings with Teacher Kate. like we did with my bad drawing app. This is basically a good version of the bad drawing app we did last week, but I can almost guarantee you that they spent more than an hour on their version. I wonder how many layers you can have. 5. Okay, so we did our attempt at whiteboarding. I kind of want to. I would like to do it really from Procreate, but that's okay. Okay, so we were here. What we had just done is get that normal vector. And then we're going to say our position is now equal to that normal vector times 100, because that's our radius. And then we need to add that back. Now wait, this isn't true. We didn't need to subtract from our origin. Because we're always drawing from the origin. Let me think about this for a second. I think I maybe did this. I think everything I said in practice was true, but I think the way we're actually calculating this. We subtracted our origin, and now we're going to add it back. I think that's right. I may have done this wrong, but we'll see relatively quickly how wrong it is. Hopefully. Okay, so, oops, what do we do? p5.vector.normalize is not? Really? Oh, you do it on the vector itself. I don't really like that. Oof. Very interesting formatting, but okay. Let's go with it. Normal vector.normalize is not a function. Is it not? Oh, do I need to like... yeah, sure, because that's probably not... So can I do a subtract, or what do we actually have in here? Yeah, I need to... This needs to be subtract. What is the order, though? We want to subtract from, and that's the one to subtract. So we need to do this. Feels a little inconsistent. If if all these are those are like static methods on the normal. But normalize maybe I'm missing something, but that feels inconsistent to me. Okay, vcopy is not a function. It makes it sound like I gave something that wasn't a vector. Inside the distance function. Sensor data, the origin and the position. Sensor data.origin has a create vector, XYZ. Did it make a vec2 and that like cause it to be unhappy? Seems like a P5 bug. If I'm, so was that the distance function, or was that in the normalize? Who broke there? This says V sub. This says P5 V sub. Why? That seems valid. Like, why can't I do that? Maybe I can. Maybe I need to subtract it and then normalize it. This is probably me just not understanding what's going on. I haven't done this stuff in a while. I don't know that I've ever really done much of this in P5. I've done a fair amount in processing. No, this says P5.vector.normalize is not a function, which is weird because subtract exists both on... That's weird. Why would that one in particular... I don't like it. I do that. Feels inconsistent. I'm sure there's a reason, but feels inconsistent. So, line 73. What do we... Dist. It acts like it's mad. Like it's like copy. That's the origin and that's the position. There's some reason why those would not actually be vectors. What am I missing? Probably a lot of things. Not a number. P5 vector 73. 72 printed properly. 75 printed something insane. So our position is broken in some fun way. In what way is our position broken? It's because I messed with it here. So something was wrong with my acceleration data. Because I'm just adding... Okay, for now, let's do this. We're just not even going to deal with the accelerometer data. We're just going to accelerate at 1 unit in Z every frame. Z is a bad example. Let's do Y. Just because I think the accelerometer part is making things a little weird. So in this case, we should just go up until we hit, whoa. Is this my problem? Is it after we do it once and we break it here? Like we break what's in the position? That seems likely. That seems like probably what it is. Yeah, because it's like not a number. It's like normal vector times 100. Oh yeah, we probably can't do that. We can do that in other languages, but we probably can't do that here. P5 doesn't give you a lot of errors, it seems. We need to multiply a vector by a scalar. So we would, yeah, we got to do this or this. So the normal vector times 100. So we want to multiply it times 100, and then we want to add. Yeah, we probably just don't get all these things for free like we would in Unity, which is, I guess, understandable, even if I don't like it. So we're going to say our new position is our normal vector, you know, that little pin pointing off, times 100 units, which is our force field. And then we're going to add back to where we were originally because we subtracted it here. Okay. That's... I don't know who to blame on this. Is it JavaScript? Like... I was adding 1 to y. Oh, are the y coordinates inverted from what I would normally expect because we're in processing? Kind of funny that are we rotating before we're positioning? No. What insane thing have I done? Why is it going off to the side? If I'm just adding to, I'm only adding to the Y position. We're logging those things. X is somehow changing over time. We're subtracting the origin. We're normalizing. We're taking that normalized vector, multiplying it times 100, and then we're adding it back to the... This seems like a thing that would work. Okay, let's do one other thing. Let's also, for now, just say... I'm definitely making this harder than it should be, but also the tools are working against me a little bit. Like this, I would not have these problems in Unity, I feel like, or many of these problems. Like the language would just catch. Okay, right? We just went down. That's always going to be true. So that's no problem. But it seemed like when our origin wasn't 0, like if our origin was 50 here, are we suddenly going to have issues? Like, why? Where is that extra? Whatever the origin is, we want to do position minus the origin. Am I backwards in the way sub works? Is sub supposed to be the other way? V1 is the vector to subtract from, and then what we want to subtract. And then we want to normalize that. And then we want to multiply that times 100. Let's do Let's save our push and pops until it's actually time to draw. And let's also draw an ellipse that is at maybe I don't need to do all this relative stuff if I am if my position let's do it this way. Okay, maybe I think my logic is off here. I think I need the magnitude of this vector because position is relative to origin, so it might as well be 0. Origin might as well be 0. Like, I think I just not thinking, let's say. Okay, so if, let's just try it this way. Well, we could basically say whatever the magnitude of my position is. Yeah, okay, because we're always adding the origin anyway. So origin shouldn't even factor in. So if the magnitude of this is greater than 100, then we can actually just say we can maybe actually just say that that we're gonna normalize this and then mult times 100. Same principle, we just aren't doing the origin relative thing because when we draw it, we're always adding the origin anyway. So I think I just didn't, I think most of my explanation still stands. I think my logic of how I was arriving at that explanation was not actually right. There's other contexts where you would do exactly what I said and you would subtract and then add again. But in this case, since we're always adding the origin at the end, like if we wanted origin to be part of position, then that's how we would do this. Like we could compare it to what the origin was, but since what we're basically saying is that our position is always relative to the origin, we can skip all those other steps. And we could change it so it would work the way that I was talking about it before, but I don't think we want to. I think it's actually simpler this way. Normalize is not a function. Because you're supposed to be the position. Okay, so that moved down. I lost my push. How did I lose my push? Okay, it moves down because right now we're just only adding in that one axis. So that's good. Now let's just try adding. Yeah, okay, I understand now. In many cases in doing something like this, I wouldn't also always be offsetting the origin like this. I would just have the origin stored as part of the position. And then we would have to subtract and then add it again. In this case, we're basically saying position is always relative to 0, and then we're going to bother to put it out in space somewhere. And that just means we do the same thing, we just do it in a slightly different way because we don't have to add or subtract. Okay, so as I move this, it's pretty good. The up and down is okay. That's not bad. One thing I might want to do is like alter the acceleration based on the orientation, which is something that's not, whoa, weird, not happening. So like up and down happens because Z is forward on this phone, right? If I tilt here, up and down isn't doing anything anymore. Up and down is still this way. Like it's still, that's always the front of my phone. So we'd have to rotate that acceleration vector, which I don't want to do because that seems annoying. Okay, that felt pretty good. Let's do X now. Maybe we don't even want Z. It's pretty good. If I face my phone to it. Not bad. I need someone to help me. Who's around? Somebody wake up. I need some help. I have a call shortly, so I do have to stop, but Life is Yours is doing an exam. Why is he looking at Discord? Okay, so okay, Dracklin's gone. Man, no one's around. No one's here to help me. Just when I get it to work. What a sad story. So, Dracklin is missing. Who knows where? Life is Yours is doing an exam. Nobody else is here. Anybody in chat? Or anybody watching not in chat? What a sad story. Fine, it's just me. I'm all by myself right now. Okay, so that's okay. I'll make 2 devices and I'll have a dance all by myself. I don't need anybody's help. Okay, that's not bad. There's a million things we could do to make it better, but like as far as just being responsive, it's pretty good. So let's try also on this device, and I will wildly shake 2 very expensive devices around at the same time, which should be great. Okay, this device is still working. This device needs to go elsewhere. Mobile dancer. Give permission. These machines go to sleep too quickly. Okay. Okay, yeah, there we go. We got kind of overlapping origins, which is not great. The orientation is like flawless. The acceleration is nonsense, but I think you get the impression that you're doing the thing you're doing, for sure. Let's add Z back. And then the big thing, which will be the annoying thing, which will be the worst thing, possibly, is if we want to adjust the acceleration vector to be like world relative. So right now, Z is sticking out of the front of my phone, right? So if I hold my phone like this, the box is facing me and Z is facing me. If I rotate my phone, oh, apparently my orientation's gotten insane now. Let's restart. Okay, up and down, I can rotate. I think these axes are actually not quite right. But as soon as I rotate like this, up and down doesn't work. It's still like this. So up is always relative to this, to my phone right here, wherever my phone is tilted. What I want to do is remove that rotation, account for this rotation. So in other words, my orientation data says my phone is this way and then is going this way. So the acceleration data is this way and then it's going this way. I always want my acceleration data even when my orientation is here. So I need to subtract the orientation data from the acceleration, and then up will always be up, and that will be better. That will be more fun. But that's a hassle. Quaternion math is a hassle, and I don't want to do it. And I have a call soon. So we maybe should just stop for today. Also, I've broken something. This. That's this machine. So we have Z. Z works not too badly. Oh, sorry, Y is like this. We have Y. We have X. My X is backwards, but that's okay. If I face this towards you. Actually, for you, this looks correct because you're looking at the back of the iPad. So there's up and down. There's side to side. And now I do have front to back. And the rotation continues to be good. So that's okay. We did okay. We did a good job today, I think. We got acceleration. The tethered thing actually works not too badly. Something we might consider though is the like drift back home. Like the thing that will always make it drift back. And a way that we could do that is to, this will limit it no matter what the magnitude is, but we could also set it to a percentage of the magnitude every frame. Maybe we can do this in a simple way. So we could basically say, if the okay, like let's just make this its own thing. Like if the magnitude is greater than 100, then set it equal to 100. Like we're maxing it out. And then let's just multiply it by what we want the magnitude to be, which may be 100. So this will like, but we also want to decay the magnitude. By, let's say it's like decays by 10% every frame. I don't know if this is going to work, but it might. So this would make it drift back. So we're not using a delta time here. We're just using like maybe it goes back way too quickly. You see it kind of gravitating back. So let's make our radius bigger. .256, about a nice 8-bit number. We'll make our radius a little bigger. We'll use radius here. We'll make our decay not as dramatic. We'll only go 5% per frame. In fact, let's only go 1% per frame. Really, we would want to use a delta time on that. So see how it will like, we can go pretty buck, we can go pretty wild and get all over the place here. But at the end of it, it's going to kind of slowly gravitate back to our origin. So we can go wild, we can get crazy, we can do our little dance. We'll hit our bounds, like I just hit my headphones. But if we stop and I just set it down, we will slowly lerp, linearly interpolate back to where we want to go. Now, we don't have a delta time here, so I don't actually know. Normally in animation, you don't want to be dependent, in game animation in particular, you don't want to be dependent on the frame rate of the game because that can change a lot. You want to be dependent on time. So I don't know if P5 has a delta time. So I could calculate my own. Target time between time since last now, target time between frames. Delta time feature. Delta time implementation. Delta time global variable. So is it just p5.delta time? Let's try it. So we will decay 10% over. Okay, this gets to be a little weird though. Times delta time. Decay is a weird one here. So we want a percentage. So we want a fraction of a. If we said we wanted to like arrive there in 1 second, we would multiply this times delta time. So over the course of 1 second, our magnitude is going to end up 0 unless we're doing stuff to change it, which would be our accelerometer changes. So this might be a very slow lerp, but it'll be a frame rate independent lerp, which is a good thing to do in computer animation. But it's extraordinarily possible that I screwed this up. Yeah, did you just see that just like fly into outer space? Maybe delta time is not in delta time might be in seconds or something. That's milliseconds, and I want it in seconds. So let's divide this by 1,000. Okay. How bad did I break this? Really badly? Because it's too small of a fraction. So really, yeah, that's a weird one. Don't normally do it like with decay. I wanted to decay over an amount. Almost needs to be like 1 minus that. Like the inverse of that. How about I arrive with something like 0.98 as a... I mean, I could do it as a lerp, right? I probably need a vector 3 lerp, right? Probably in here. Oh, no. It's not a vector 3. That's a scalar. So that's just a lerp. It's a silly way to do this, but it's like if I wanted to do, I would be lerping between this and a 0 magnitude like this. I'm sure there's a better way to do this with like the way we were just approaching, but see how now we get like a nice lerp. So we can go crazy all day and we can go up and down and we can move all we want, but then when we stop, it's gonna lerp us back to the center, which I like. I think that's good. I feel pretty good about that. Okay, I have a call shortly, but I think we did, that's good. I still don't know exactly what we're gonna do with this thing, but I think it's pretty good. People can wave their phones around and dance. Hopefully very soon, once the residency started, we will have more people on these afternoon streams, and then we can have a cube rave. Right now, this is the loneliest cube party of all time. Isolation cube party. But I think it's funny. Yeah, it'll make a big difference to account for the so in our to-do, we did the culling, we did constrain. Why can't I edit this? Is there a reason I can't edit this file? That is my file? Not you, you. Okay, great. We did that. Can I do move lineup one? No. And we need to like, that sounds annoying. That just seems like a thing that's gonna take a bunch of trial and error. Okay. So, we made dancing cubes. Nobody was here to help me test it. That's fine. That's no problem. It's these middle of the afternoon streams. It's fine. We'll get some people. But it's almost like you can wave your phone around and I can vaguely know what you're doing, and that might be enough. And I don't want too much accuracy because I don't want anyone like doing obscene gestures if this is what we use for the museum. So anyway, that seems not bad, and we may pick it up tomorrow, which is Thursday. Yeah, we'll pick it up tomorrow afternoon, and we will maybe add some new features to it. At some point, we should probably make it look good, right? We should make it actually pretty. Maybe not. Okay. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon. You will see me soon. Bye.